friends. Today I want to share with you a truth that most people are not prepared to hear. It is the truth about why so many people never manage to succeed. People do not usually fail because they are not smart enough or because they don't have skills or resources. Most people fail for one simple reason: they quit too soon. They face rejection for the first time. They feel crushed. When their idea doesn't work right away, they throw it aside. When someone tells them it's impossible, they begin to believe it. But what they do not realize is that every single successful person has been rejected, criticized, and has failed over and over again. The only difference is that those people didn't stop. Think about it for a moment. When a baby is learning to walk, he falls again and again, hundreds of times. He never thinks to himself that maybe walking is not meant for him. He keeps trying until one day he takes his first real step. But as we grow older, we lose this mindset. Start fearing the fall more than we look forward to the walk. We forget how to persist. Many people begin their journey with passion and excitement. They set big targets. They speak about their dreams proudly. They make plans carefully. But as soon as life puts them to the test with challenges, delays, or unexpected problems, they start doubting everything. The first time they hear someone say, "No," they shrink back. The first time they fail, convince themselves maybe this path isn't meant for them, and they give up. They don't understand is that success never belongs to people who quit at the first sign of hardship. It belongs to those who rise again after every failure and keep moving forward no matter what. Each failure carries with it a hidden lesson. Rejection builds more strength inside you. Every delay forces you to learn patience. People who eventually succeed are not superheroes. They are ordinary people who stay in the fight longer than everyone else. They withstand the pain for a longer time. They keep showing up, even when there are no results to show yet. Others are busy complaining. They continue to work silently. And in the end, life rewards those who refuse to walk away. So if you truly want to succeed, make a promise to yourself right now. You will not give up too early. No matter how tough it becomes, no matter how many failures you face, no matter how many people laugh at your dreams, you will continue until your success becomes so clear that no one can deny it. Another huge reason why people fail is because they are afraid of criticism. They care too much about what other people will say about them. Before they start a business, they ask themselves, "What if everyone laughs at me?" Before they share an idea in a meeting, they wonder, "What if I sound foolish?" Before they make a bold move, their minds are filled with thoughts of failure and how people might gossip about it. This fear keeps them locked inside a prison that nobody else can see. They spend their whole lives trying to fit in, trying not to upset anyone, trying to avoid being judged. But here's the truth. No matter what you do, people will always have something to say. If you do nothing, they will say you are lazy. If you try something different, they will call you crazy. If you succeed, they will call you proud. You cannot win by trying to please everybody. People forget that criticism is actually proof that you are growing. When you do what everyone else is doing, nobody pays attention. But the moment you take a new path, you will draw attention, both positive and negative. The problem is that most people only want the positive side, a constant praise. They want people to clap for them, admire them, and support them all the time. But that is not how life works. The very people who cheer for you today can criticize you tomorrow. If you depend on their approval, you will never discover your own true power. The people who achieve great things are not those who never face criticism. They are those who learn to live above it. They may listen. They may learn something useful from it. They never let it control their identity. You must also realize that most criticism reflects more about the person giving it than the person receiving it. When someone tells you, "You can't do this," it usually means they don't believe they could do it themselves. If you continue to live in fear of judgment, you will never live your own life. You will spend your years living a life designed by the opinions of others. You will remain stuck in the same routine, doing the same things, only to keep everyone else comfortable. At the end of the day, those people whose opinions you feared will not be the ones facing your regrets. So if you want real success, you must build the strength to handle criticism. Accept that people will always talk. Let them say what they want. Your responsibility is not to silence them. It is to prove yourself so strongly through your results that their words mean nothing. Another big reason why many never reach success is because they do not take action. They spend their lives in endless thinking, planning, and dreaming, but never actually move forward. They read countless books about success. They watch motivational videos one after another. They attend events. They take notes with excitement. But when the time comes to actually act, they hesitate. They keep telling themselves they are not ready yet. They need more information. They need the perfect plan. They are waiting for the right moment. Days turn into weeks, into months, and months into years. Then one day they look back and realize that their life passed by while they were waiting for a perfect time that never came. People forget that knowledge without action is useless. Someone who knows only a little but acts will always be ahead of the person who knows everything but does nothing. Action creates energy. Even if you make mistakes, you will learn faster by doing than by only thinking. Many people are afraid to act because they want guarantees. They want to be sure that what they do will work. But life never gives such promises. Certainty is not given to you. You create it by taking action. You take one step, then you learn, you adjust, and you keep going until you create the result you want. Some people think too much before making any move. They want to see the entire staircase before they climb the first step. But that is not how success works. You only see the next step after you take the first one. If you wait to see everything clearly from the start, you will remain stuck at the beginning forever. Others say they are waiting for motivation before they act. They think they will start once they feel ready. But the truth is, motivation comes after you start, not before. The moment you take action, when you see even small progress itself gives you motivation to keep going. If you want success in life, you must become a person of action. Start before you feel ready. What you already have and do what you can. You will never feel perfectly prepared. Conditions will never be perfect. But if you take action despite all these imperfections, you will already be far ahead of those still sitting and planning. Always remember, the world does not reward intentions. It rewards results. Ideas without execution are worthless. Dreams without action are meaningless. Stop waiting. Begin today. Take even the smallest step and keep moving every day. Because at the end of it all, it is not what you know, what you dream, not what you plan. It is only what you do that changes your life. Another strong reason why people fail to reach success is their lack of discipline. They know very well what needs to be done, but they fail to do it with consistency. They wake up in the morning and choose comfort over commitment. They talk about success, their actions say the opposite. Discipline means doing what must be done even when you don't feel like it. Unfortunately, most people allow their feelings to control their lives. If they feel tired, they skip the important task. If they feel bored, they stop learning. If they feel uncomfortable, they run away from challenges. They let emotions decide their actions, forgetting that true growth always lies outside of comfort. They say they want great achievements. They still waste hours scrolling on their phones. They say they want to be financially free, yet they spend more money than they earn. They say they want a healthy and strong body, yet they eat unhealthy food every day and avoid exercise. They say they want deep and loving relationships, yet they don't give time or effort to build and care for them. This is the reality of people who lack self-control. They keep wishing without taking action. Success is always built on discipline. It is never about one big choice, but about thousands of small choices you make daily. It is about getting up early even when your body tells you to sleep more. It is about choosing to work on your dream when everyone else is resting. It is about refusing short-term pleasure so that you can reach long-term happiness. Many people believe motivation will bring them success, but motivation comes and goes. Discipline remains. Motivation is based on feelings. Discipline is based on decisions and responsibility. You may not wake up motivated every day, but if you are disciplined, you will still take the steps you need. The truth is, discipline is not punishment. It is the purest form of self-respect. When you practice discipline, you are showing yourself that your goals matter, your dreams are serious, and your future is more valuable than your temporary comfort. People who lack discipline will always live with regret. They will look at others achieving what they once wanted and say those people were lucky or had chances they didn't. Deep down, they know they failed because they didn't do what was needed when it mattered. If you want to achieve anything meaningful, build discipline like you train a muscle. Begin with small acts. Wake up at the time you promised yourself. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Stick to your plan even when you feel exhausted. Because if you cannot control your own mind and actions, the world will control them for you. And when that happens, success will always stay out of reach. Another big reason many people never reach success is because they lack patience. They want everything quickly. They expect instant results, instant money, instant recognition. Things don't happen fast, they lose interest. But real success does not happen this way. It demands time, effort, and consistency. People today plant a seed and then expect to see fruit the next morning. When it doesn't happen, they grow upset and start thinking, maybe this goal is not for them. Then they move on to another dream, another plan, another desire. They keep changing directions because they don't see fast results. They fail to understand is that every time they restart, they go back to zero. Success is like growing a tree. First, you plant the seed, then you water it every single day. For weeks, you see nothing. For months, maybe you only notice a small sprout. But underground, the roots are spreading deep and strong, preparing to support the tree when it grows tall. If you lose patience and dig it up to check if it's growing, you kill it before it can even begin. This is how most people ruin their potential. They give up too early because they mistake slow progress for no progress. They want to master a skill in just days. They want to build a business in only a few weeks. They want to grow confidence and power overnight, and when it doesn't happen, they lose belief in themselves and in their dreams. The truth is, anything valuable takes time. Anything strong requires time to build. Anything meaningful demands patience. The biggest mistake impatient people make is chasing shortcuts. They look for quick ways to earn money, quick ways to get in shape, quick ways to succeed. And in the end, they waste years going in circles instead of patiently walking the true path to success. People forget that impatience is a form of disrespect towards their dreams. Being impatient means telling yourself that your dream is not worth the time needed to achieve it. You are telling life to give it to you right now, or else you don't want it. But life does not obey your schedule. Rewards those who keep working faithfully, even when nothing seems to be moving. If you truly want to succeed, make patience your strength. Understand that the time it takes is the price for greatness. Focus on your effort, not on how long it takes. Because when you finally reach your goal with patience, the pride, value, and joy you feel will be far greater than anything a shortcut could give. Another cause of failure is that many people don't learn from failure. They treat failure as the end instead of a teacher. When they fail, they feel ashamed, humiliated, and defeated. They start believing maybe they are not good enough, and they quit trying. But the truth is, failure is never the end. Failure is simply feedback. It is life's way of telling you what does not work, so you can find out what does. Too many people are so afraid of failure that they don't take risks at all. Even if they fail once, they waste time blaming the situation, blaming other people, or blaming bad luck. They keep asking, why did this happen to me? Instead of asking, what can I learn from this? If you study the most successful people in the world, you will see their success was built on a mountain of failures. Every failure taught them something useful. Every rejection made them stronger. Every mistake gave them a new way to grow. They didn't treat failure as an enemy but as a guide. Most people don't have this way of thinking. They allow failure to crush their confidence instead of shaping their wisdom. They replay their failures again and again in their heads, feeling regret, guilt, and anger. But they never take time to truly study what went wrong, what could have been done better, what lesson life is trying to show them. The truth is you can never succeed without failing. Many times failure is simply the price you must pay to reach something meaningful. It is like falling while learning to ride a bike. If you never fall, you will never learn balance. If you avoid failure, you avoid growth. Those who don't learn from failure end up repeating the same mistakes. They try new businesses, new jobs, or new relationships, face the same problems, because they never learned from the last experience. They think life is being unfair, but in reality, they are ignoring the lessons life is offering. If you want to win, you must change how you see failure. Welcome it, study it, respect it. After every failure, ask yourself, what did I learn? How can I improve? You begin doing this, you will realize failure is not your enemy. Ignorance is. Failure, when used correctly, turns ignorance into wisdom and weakness into strength. Remember, the only true failure is refusing to learn. As long as you are learning, you are moving forward. And one day, all those lessons will connect and create the success you dreamed of. Another reason many people never reach success is because they lack vision. They wake up each day with no clear direction. They live on autopilot, copying what others do, following what society tells them, but inside they don't know what they really want. If you ask them, what is your goal in life? They give unclear answers like, I just want to be happy, or I want to be successful. But what does happiness mean for them? What does success look like for them? They have no clarity. And without clarity, nothing meaningful can be achieved. Think of a ship sailing without a destination. It will keep drifting wherever the waves push, but it will never reach a port. This is exactly how most people live because they have no clear vision. They keep switching paths. One day they dream of starting a business. The next week they want a job. Day they plan to study abroad. The next month they want to drop out completely. Their life becomes full of random choices because they have no final goal leading them. When you lack vision, you become part of someone else's vision. You end up working for other people's dreams, helping build other people's goals, and many people spend their entire lives following the footsteps of others. And when they reach the end of their journey, they look back and wonder why they never felt truly happy or proud of what they did. The truth is simple, they never lived a life shaped by their own vision. A lot of people believe having a vision is something extra, something only a few lucky ones can afford. They think, let me just survive first, then later I will think about my dreams. The reality is, without a vision, you are not living, you are only surviving. A vision is what gives your effort, your sacrifices, and your struggles meaning. It is the force that pushes you to wake up early, to stay awake late at night, and to keep moving forward, even when everything around you feels heavy and difficult. People are trapped in the cycle of being busy just for the sake of being busy. They work tirelessly, but all that effort goes in no clear direction. They climb ladders quickly, only to reach the top and realize the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall all along. They end up achieving things that don't bring them joy, chasing goals that society set for them, only to feel empty when they finally get them. If you really want success, the first step is to create a clear vision for your own life. Yourself, what do I truly want? Who do I want to become? What difference do I want to leave in the world? Write these answers down. Imagine them every single day. Your vision grows so strong that it pulls you out of excuses and drives you into action. Because when your vision is sharp and powerful, your choices become easier. Challenges turn temporary, distractions lose their importance, and your life gains a deep sense of purpose that most people never get to feel. Reason so many people never succeed is because of the company they keep. They surround themselves with negative people, those who constantly complain, gossip, criticize, and doubt. What they don't see is that the people around them shape their mindset, their self-belief, and even how they see the world. If you are always around people who talk about problems, your mind will also start looking for problems. If you are surrounded by people who blame others for everything, start doing the same instead of taking responsibility. And if your friends laugh at your dreams and tell you to be realistic, slowly you will begin doubting your own dreams too. People don't choose their environment with intention. They stick with the same group of friends they grew up with, even when those friends have no ambition or positivity. They continue spending time in unhealthy family circles without setting limits. They listen to negative coworkers, relatives, and neighbors daily, out realizing that those words are planting fear and doubt in their own minds. They think it doesn't affect them, but it does. Slowly, their thinking changes to match the people they spend time with. Their confidence is broken by constant judgment. Their dreams fade because of endless doubt. Their goals get delayed because they waste hours in empty conversations instead of focusing on growth. Think of it like a fresh apple placed among rotten ones. Soon, the fresh one will rot too. Your environment affects you in the same way, often more than you realize. If you surround yourself with people who are motivated, hardworking, and positive, you will feel inspired to raise your standards. But if you surround yourself with those who are lazy, negative, and careless, over time you will start becoming like them, even if you started strong. Many people don't fail because they lack talent or ability. They fail because they keep the wrong people close. They hold on to friends who laugh at their goals. They continue listening to relatives who discourage them at every step. They spend time with colleagues who secretly want them to fail. And in the process, they lose their drive, their courage, and their focus. If you want to succeed, you must protect your environment with seriousness. This doesn't mean you have to disrespect others. It means you must respect your dreams enough to shield them. Spend your time with people who lift you up. People who speak of ideas and opportunities. People who work hard without excuses. And people who believe in your vision even during moments when you doubt yourself. Because your environment is often stronger than your willpower. You may set the biggest goals in the world, but if you surround yourself with negative energy, you will get pulled down. The other hand, even if your goals are small, staying around positive and focused people will inspire you to dream bigger and achieve much more. Choose your circle carefully because in the end, you become like the people you spend most of your time with. Make sure they are guiding you towards your dreams, not away from them. Another big reason most people don't succeed is because they are not consistent. They start something with a lot of energy and excitement, but after a short time, that energy disappears. They stop putting in the same effort. They get distracted by new things, and soon their goals are left unfinished. They join the gym for 2 weeks and expect a big transformation. When they don't see results fast, they quit. They launch a new business and work hard for 1 month. When customers don't show up right away, they give up. They decide to wake up early to study or build skills, but after a few days of discipline, they fall back into old habits. People fail because they think success is about sudden bursts of effort. But real success comes from small, steady actions done every single day. It's about showing up when you don't feel motivated, working hard when no one else is watching, and staying committed even when there are no instant results. People are only consistent with their excuses. They keep saying, "I will start tomorrow." And they say that every day. They say, "I am too tired today." And they say that every day too. But they are not consistent with their habits, their learning, or their growth. They don't realize is that consistency is the secret that separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. You don't build strength by going to the gym once for 5 hours. You build strength by going every day for half an hour. You don't become wise by reading a book once in a while. You become wise by reading every day, even if it is just a few pages. You don't build a successful business by working hard for 1 month and then disappearing for 3. You build it by showing up daily, solving problems, learning, and improving without breaks. The biggest problem with inconsistency is that people are always starting over. Every time they quit and return, they go back to zero. Imagine trying to boil water, but switching off the stove every minute. It will never boil. That is how many people live their lives, starting and stopping, never staying long enough to see the results of their work. If you want to succeed, consistency is your greatest strength. Even if you move slowly, if you stay consistent, you will achieve far more than someone who works intensely only once in a while. Success is not about speed, it is about endurance. Train yourself to stay committed to your routines, your goals, and your vision regardless of how you feel. Feelings change, but discipline doesn't. In the end, the world doesn't remember the people who started with excitement. It remembers those who stayed committed until the very end. Another powerful reason why people fail is because they don't believe in themselves. Deep down, they feel they are not smart enough, talented enough, or worthy enough to achieve something great. They may smile and act confident in public, but when they are alone, their thoughts are filled with fear and doubt. They see others succeeding and think, they can do it, but I can't. They hear stories of great achievements and immediately think, have what it takes. This lack of belief stops them before they even begin. They don't apply for opportunities because they assume they will fail. They don't share their ideas because they think no one will care. They don't take risks because they believe they cannot handle failure. Many people spend their lives waiting for someone else to believe in them, their parents, their friends, their boss, or even society. They think, if others encourage me, then I will feel confident. But the truth is, no one's belief can replace the belief you need to have in yourself. Even if the whole world claps for you, it means nothing if you don't feel deserving of it inside. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's not about thinking you are better than others. It's about understanding that you are capable of learning, growing, and improving in anything you commit yourself to. It's about knowing that you don't need to be perfect to begin. You just need to begin in order to get better. Without self-belief, every obstacle looks like proof that you are not meant to succeed. But with self-belief, every obstacle becomes a challenge to overcome. Without self-belief, every criticism breaks you. But with self-belief, criticism becomes a lesson to improve. Without self-belief, failure feels like the end. But with self-belief, failure becomes a teacher. Many people fail because they keep waiting for external approval. They want someone else to say, "You are capable." But if you want to succeed, you must be the first person to tell yourself, "I can do this." Even if no one else believes, your own self-belief will carry you forward. The saddest part is that countless people die with their dreams still inside them, simply because they never believed they were capable of bringing them to life. They lived small, and dreamed small because their own mind was trapped in invisible walls. If you want to succeed, start building unshakable belief in yourself today. Speak to yourself with confidence. Remind yourself of all the struggles you have already overcome. Train your thoughts to see possibilities instead of problems. Because in the end, the world will only believe in you after you first believe in yourself. Remember, success is not reserved for a chosen few. It belongs to those who choose to keep growing, keep fighting, and keep rising above failure. If you avoid these traps, your success won't just be possible, it will be certain.